you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream, carry me. Night stream, scary me. Night stream, fairy wings flapping me into the night. Oh, you know it's gonna be alright. Clap your hands and scream. Curl up in a ball and freak. Dumb or smart, dirty or clean. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, everybody's welcome in the night stream. Queen Street. You're watching the night stream. Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream, carry me. Night stream, scary me. Night stream, fairy wings flapping me into the night. Oh, you know it's gonna be alright. Clap your hands and scream. Curl up in a ball and freak. Dumb or smart, dirty or clean. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, everybody's welcome in the night stream.
Hi! Welcome to the night stream. I don't know why it's still playing. What the fuck? Hello, welcome. Do you notice anything different? I hope so, because I spent 5 hours today setting up a new camera, a fancy camera. And I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. But this is a Lumix camera. And holy shit. Like, why? Why did cameras have to be so complicated? It's madness. Anyone who's fucked with like any camera outside of your iPhone, you know what I'm talking about. It just acts like you should know somehow any of the things it's talking about. And luckily I use ChatGPT, which is fucking incredible. Like, I've never really used it for like anything other than, you know, if I'm going to interview somebody, it'll help me like work out some questions. But I've never used it for something this practical. And holy shit. Like, it told me how to adjust shit in my studio. It told me about camera placement. It told me how to set the camera up. And it was fucking incredible. Like, I was blown away, but it still took like 5 hours. The other thing I'm working on right now is on the computer you can't see over here. I'm trying to get a Moltbot going, which is an autonomous artificial intelligence agent that takes over your computer. And so I had an old Mac sitting around, and I wiped it, and it's old, so it took me forever to install Pomona, and I just didn't have time today to get it up and running. But soon I'm going to have multiple autonomous artificial intelligence agents that I'm going to assign to various things throughout the internet. Some of them I will reveal, some of them I can't. So that is coming. But I do want to welcome you. This is Night Stream number 4. My name is Rupert Murdoch, and this night stream is dedicated to everyone on planet Earth right now. I'm excited that you guys are here with me. I've really been enjoying these night streams, and I gotta say, it's quite addictive. Like, I didn't expect the hook to go that far into my gullet as it has. Like, this is fun, and it's a rabbit hole, man. It's a rabbit hole that you just want to keep adding stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but now you could see the chat in the video. Like, holy shit, I did that. I did that. And I don't know what's going to happen other than that. Like, I don't know if super chats will show up anymore or what, but I have the chat in there. So that's there, which is important. All the great streamers that I follow some great streamers. They have that. I have other things. I want to tell you all the things that I have planned for the night stream. But first, I've got to smoke a vitamin D cigarette. I have low vitamin D. By the way, this is really exciting. Guess what I just got? An Ozempic shot. How fun is that? My wife gave me an Ozempic shot in my belly. Should have filmed it for you. I have diabetes, so I have to get these Ozempic shots every couple of weeks or week or something. And it worked. It's crazy. It's a miracle drug. I have fucking diabetes because I ate like an asshole for years. And then my body was just like, okay, fuck off. Just cooking sugar then. Why am I even, my pancreas was like, just go fuck yourself. I don't understand what I'm even doing here. What the fuck is wrong with you? All the signs are there. You're getting grumpy and tired and taking weird naps and you can't eat a meal without falling asleep. Like, what do you think is going on with you, man? I thought I had an endogenous depression. I'm pretty sure it was diabetes. But now there's nothing. I was sort of looking up like, and I don't want to pander, but I was looking up like, what do people want from streams these days? What is Gen Z especially? That's the target audience for everybody. What does Gen Z want most? And for those of you who are Gen Z in the audience, I did a lot of research, and I know that what you're interested in is dudes in their 40s talking about their A1C. And so, yeah, mine's good. It wasn't so good. It was so fucking high, I easily could have keeled over at any second. It was so high that when I went to urgent care, because every time I took a piss, it felt like a reptilian was punching me in my back. They couldn't read my blood sugar. Like, it was so high, it just said high. And like, they looked at the machine and looked at me, and then they were like, hold on, let me do it again. And they're like, normally you would have to go to the hospital with this reading. But for some reason, they didn't send me to the hospital. And then I went home, and I went into a coma for a couple months. And nobody noticed. I came out of it. My wife just thought I was like being a recluse. But as it turns out, I had an incredibly high A1C. And I didn't even know, it's really like God does have a way of punishing us, if that's your thing. Not in any kind of real way, but like, I would roll my eyes at the fucking Wegovy, Ozempic. Like, anytime any old piece of shit was talking about their A1C, I was just like, you fucked up, didn't you? Should have watched your health. I thought that like probably while eating Oreos. And then I got diabetes, and now I'm on the junk. And a lot of us are. And here's another, like, I've noticed something. Because, like, if you tell someone you have to take Ozempic, and you tell them it's because of diabetes, they'll say something, yeah, like all the fat people are taking the Ozempic now. It's like, yeah, that's good. Why is that bad? It's really weird that people who aren't even diabetic seem to be mad that people are using drugs like Ozempic if they're overweight. Like, why? It's a miracle. I mean, you see kids eat and they're done. Like they'll eat and then they're done. It doesn't matter what it is. They'll do it with dessert. They'll do it with whatever. They're just like, they won't eat anymore. They're done. That's normal because what's happening is some kind of hormone, I think, is being released in the body saying you're full. And then what happens over time is you sort of defeat that hormone. Like even though the signal is you're full, you're like, oh, but this tastes so good. I want to eat more of it. And then you eat more and more of it. And then this is my theory. I don't know how it actually works. I'm guessing this is something like what it is. But eventually your body gives up, stops releasing that fucking hormone. And then you're just hungry all the time. You want to eat all the time. And so it's like everybody, like in the past, sort of the insult that you would throw at someone who was overweight was like, you're lazy or you can't get a hold of yourself or, things like that. Why do you keep eating that much? And now they're finding out it's like neurological. It's like, because they're fucking hungry all the time because their bodies gave up on them. Their bodies are like, fuck it, just fucking eat then. Be hungry all the time. I speak as somebody who is like, I've been through some pretty heavy phases, AKA fat. And it sucks. Like, it sucks. I hate it. And you feel so ashamed kind of and weird and just like, you feel like I could do better than this. And you can. But then science happens. Now you can just inject this fucking thing into you. And it's the weirdest thing, man. Because all of a sudden, that thing that makes you like keep eating, it's not there anymore. You just eat a meal and you're full. It's so awesome. That's all I want. It's so weird. I used to eat, oh my God. I would get up at like 2 a.m., like have a couple of bowls of cereal, and then go back to bed, feeling like shit. And the kind of sleep I would have was like diabetic sleep. So it's like this, it's crazy. You just kind of pass out because your blood sugar's so wrecked. But I started taking this stuff. And now, if I went in now and got tested, I know I'm not going to even look at how many people are still in this stream. I'm guessing maybe 3. I went in to get tested recently. And if I'd gone in now, prior to the diagnosis, they would say I was pre-diabetic. It went down so low, not just from the Ozempic. I actually like mostly stopped eating sugar. Every once in a while, I'll still have something, but compared to what I was doing, it's nothing. And you become hyper aware of that shit when you know if you eat it, you could die. Because like you just look, like everyone's always eating something delicious. Everyone's always eating a pancake. Oh my God. A stack of pancakes with butter and syrup. And they're just eating it. It's so good. You could smell it. So I used to I would just like, God help me if there was like pancakes at a buffet. God help me. I would eat so many fucking pancakes. Waffles, not such a fan of waffles. Pancakes, I would slurp them down. But it's really crazy. I think like Ozempic and all of those, that whole new family of drugs is like Ray Kurzweil, pre-singularity, transhumanist tech. This is the beginning of a lot of other crazy drugs people are going to be able to take that fix things that for all of human history were considered unfixable via medicine. And it's coming, like all kinds of things. Definitely cancer. They're going to have something you just take and it goes away, which is nuts for all of us to imagine that. But that is going to happen. Like probably, I don't know, hopefully my grandkids, probably sooner. You're going to go to the doctor. He's going to say, oh yeah, you've got cancer. You've got brain cancer. So I'm just going to write your prescription it'll be like the way they write like penicillin prescriptions. And you're just going to take it and you're fine. And then everyone will look back at the cancer times the way we look at like the Black Plague or something. All these things are going to start coming. And every single one of them is going to require a sort of redefining of what we should expect in a human life, which is so strange. I mean, like, if you know, all the research into like the aging process, like, you know, prior to, I don't know, what, 30 years ago? I don't know when people really started studying it the way they are now. It was generally just like you get fucking old. That's the way it works. It's just part of the human life cycle as you get old. And we just accepted that because we had to. But probably they're going to find a way to either slow down the aging process. They're going to find out all the things that sort of make up the sum total of aging. There probably isn't one upstream thing to keep you from turning into an old fuck, but it's probably a mixture of things. They're going to find what those are, and there's going to be something that you can take that's just going to fix the problems. And then you're going to start reverse aging. So we have to deal with that, and that's going to be really hard for people to wrap their heads around. That one is going to, that's going to be one of the real interesting moments where human culture is going to wobble for a second as it begins to contend with a new lifespan expectation. Because your expectation of your lifespan really does inform the way you sort of plan your life out. And so if you double the human lifespan, then, you know, being in your 40s, you're not even in the second half of your life. You know? Your 20s or 30s, you're just like a teenager. Like, the way we look at everything is based on when it ends. And so, and you see how like sort of human behavior warps according to lifespan expectations. People get married earlier. You know, kids, like, think of like fucking kids when like the human lifespan was like 30 or 40 in medieval times. You know, like 5-year-olds would be fucking working their asses off because that was like 5 was not 5 based on you're going to maybe live to 30. Like 5 is like what? I don't know the math. Someone could just do the math for me. What? It's like what, 15 or something? And 20 is 40 or 50. So like the whole culture sort of warps around the expectation of when we die. So once that starts really changing, it's going to change so many things you can't even possibly imagine. It's going to be really interesting because you're going to have, like, theoretically old dudes, like old billionaires who look young again. And that's going to really upset some people who can't afford the meds. Like, all of a sudden you're going to see these crusty old fucking billionaires and they're going to look like they're in their 20s. And that's going to really they're going to have to either hide it or, I don't know. The blowback is going to be so extreme. Like right now, the majority of people see like super wealthy people and just kind of accept, yeah, that's just, you know, they have more money than I have. And so that's why they live like that. And you just accept it. Because, you know, one thing apparently they can't escape is age, right? They're old. At least you have that. You can look at them and be like, great, enjoy like hoarding all your gold, you old withered fucking dragon. But then when you're like seeing them and they look like they're in their 20s, brand new, young, handsome 20-somethings who are actually 97. But they could afford the pill of life. Meanwhile, like, you're where it's going to get really interesting. And it's already there, but it's less obvious. But once there's just undeniable, irrefutable evidence that where you land as far as like economics go, whatever class you're in, will have that's how you calculate your lifespan. So in other words, you go to the doctor, they're not really interested in your health. They're interested in like your socioeconomic status, because that is going to determine the course of treatment based on certain diseases, because you can't afford the like good shit, especially the anti-aging stuff. That's a dystopian view. Maybe everyone will have access to it. I don't know. Hope so. Oh man, it's good to be here. My mic is probably off. Oh, cool. It's working. I'm back in the chat. Oh, there's a super chat. It says add audio delay to mic input, 243 milliseconds. That's like, you know what? That's like asking me to do a backflip on camera. If I did that, like if right now I just started down that path, and I'm sure you're right, whatever I do, it's going to make it better. Somehow. But if I start down that path, trying to get my mic input to 243 milliseconds audio delay, a couple of hours of me just mumbling into the microphone, like sounding out whatever I'm typing in Google. Thank you so much, though, for the super chat. I want to look at, I'm on my YouTube right now. I want to see, it looks way better. This camera's actually pretty fucking good. Wow, look at that. It's so much more clear. Wow, holy shit. Holy shit, another super chat has come in. This is exciting. 2 super chats now. And it won't let me read it. But I found a new way. I found a new way to read super chats. Drew Lewis wants me to do a backflip on camera. Well, you know what? If you want me to fucking say it, I'll say it, Drew. I can't do a backflip. You feel better? You bully? You feel good? Does it make you feel good when I say that, Drew? I don't know why I was talking to your super chat, not the camera. Does that feel good to you? You gotta ask yourself, Drew, what does that mean? Who are you? Would you just go around to people you know can't do backflips, ask them to do a backflip? What is this, a Mr. Beast challenge? Think about what you're doing to people. Don't do that. It's bully behavior. I can't do a fucking backflip. Yeah, and I want to bad. Bad. My whole life I've wanted to do a backflip. My whole life. I've never judged someone who does a public backflip in the negative. Sure, you callous, cynical bitches out there are like, great, he's showing off. You don't see the beauty of a well-executed backflip. Anytime I've seen somebody do a graceful, seemingly effortless backflip in a field, maybe during an ultimate frisbee game, I felt nothing but respect and the urge and desire to also do it better. I want a man bun. Why don't you ask if I have a man bun, Drew? No, I don't. My hair is thinning. I'm going to have to shave it again. So no, Drew, I don't. Are you happy? I don't have a man bun, and I can't do backflips, and I'm bad at frisbee. You happy now, Drew? I'm saying it all. You happy? You won't have anything to blackmail me with anymore. Because, yeah, I can't do backflips, I'm bad at fucking frisbee, and I can't grow a man bun. The 3 most important things in life I cannot do. And I'm bad at drums. I mean, I could do it pretty much. I can do that beat and... But what I'm saying is I could never be a dude with a six-pack, a man bun at a drum circle doing backflips. That I would love to be that. And Drew knows that is something that I don't think I can get there. And maybe that's why I'm talking about this transhumanist stuff. Maybe that's sort of one of my secret dreams. Take some kind of pill where I could grow my hair out and have a man bun that somehow like wires my DNA so I could do backflips. Maybe you could just like order yourself like what you want. Maybe it's going to be like you go in a doctor's office and it's like the character select screen on a very nice video game, and you just sort of dial in what you want your body to look like, and then that's what you look like. But that would be fun to do. If we could do that, that would be just incredible. It would be so sad probably, because everybody, like if it was a machine, you walk in and you're turned into like whatever the machine, whatever you wanted, everybody would walk out of that, and I feel like everyone would kind of look the same. It would all look like we would all look like the same beautiful person. There would obviously be variations, but like we would all be identical. I doubt there would be some people who are like I guess for this to work, you can only go through the machine once. Because if you could change yourself anytime you wanted, everybody would look fucking nuts. That would be the best world. That would be like utopia. If you could just change your avatar anytime you wanted, oh, God. That would be the funniest, coolest world ever. I guess it's VR chat, basically, but in meat space. I can't do a backflip, all right? Oh, fuck you, Drew. Another $2 super chat, which I have to read, from Drew fucking Lewis, the Blast. Fuck you. He says, try a front flip. I can't, Drew. I can't flip. I could do like a sort of like embarrassing cartwheel. That's not even close. So there, I can cartwheel. I could do sort of a roll if I'm on a mat, but it hurts my body. But I can't do a front flip, and I can't do a back flip. So there. Good. Everybody, Drew fucking Lewis. Meet Drew Lewis, the blasphemer. If you're unfamiliar with him, he just says awful things to hurt your feelings whenever he can. So, good, Drew. Hope you got off on that. Because it really made me... Jeremy Smith says give him a self... I'm not even going to give him a self-ban. He bans himself from love when he acts like that. He bans himself from love and bans himself from all the good things in the world when he bullies. I've told him this in every single way I can. He won't stop. So no, I don't need to mute him. We have another super chat. This is incredible. We've got another super chat here. And I missed some last night. Sending love from Adelaide, South Australia. Thanks for all the years of great content. You got it, Psychedelic. I'm a Psychedelic Claren? Hello. I can't wait to go back to Australia. That was my favorite tour of all time. God, it's so cool there. It was like really intense because I had that thing. Like, you go anywhere cool and you get the pull to live there. But there I was like, fuck, man, maybe I don't even know how that would look or work. But I had this weird fantasy about like moving the family there somehow. But it's just such a cool place. Coffee is... I didn't know the coffee there was so good somehow. I missed that. Thanks for the super chat. That goes 6508. Thank you for the super chat. Duncan, my fleshlight is haunted. Please help. No one believes me. Now, that goes 6508. Number one, I do believe you. Maybe you're saying that because you want to be funny, and it is a funny thing to say. But I 100% believe you if you're being serious, that your fleshlight is haunted. And even if you're not being serious, I would argue that if we're going to look for ghosts, it's not going to be in some house where a murder took place. It's going to be in a well-used fleshlight. You got to think about it. What's going on there is one of the most obscene acts that a person could participate in the world. There's many others out there. I mean, I'm not saying it's like, there's a top 3 probably. But one like sort of side note, you know, anytime you're dating or whatever, you go to a girl, sometimes you're going to see like a vibrator. You don't even think about it. Like, yeah, you use a vibrator to come. Pretty normal. But I'm pretty sure that like if a lady goes to a guy's house and sees his fucking fleshlight on the floor next to his bed, still kind of glistening with the lube he sprayed into it, the maybe fading sort of, the thing itself is sort of melting because of all the fucks. The silicone is like, just the way like what water does to rocks. It's eroding it. It's a whole different thing. The stigma that goes along with the fleshlight is way more intense than vibrator stigma. In fact, I would argue there's no vibrator stigma. Dildo stigma, yeah. Like if you're looking at sort of the spectrum of where things become like, whoa, you get the like vibrator, whatever. Your mom, everyone, every lady is assigned one at some point by an angel. But then somewhere after that, you run into like dildo territory. And somehow they seem slightly more profane. Like, like, whoa, what the fuck? Maybe it just tells you something about the person based on the kind of dildo that they ordered or something. Vibrators have a sort of like, they don't really have a personality in the normal sense. They all kind of look the same. But dildos, these are like generally made from casts of people's cocks, or they're alien dildos or whatever. And so I guess it's still whatever. Still vanilla, nothing really that, maybe sad in some way. But somehow underneath that, you're going to get like, I don't know, butt plugs, I guess. Like, whoa, you like stuff up your ass. Oh, man. Oh, my. But then I would argue that like fleshlights, as far as like the probability someone's going to judge you for owning one, it's like definitely more than a butt plug. I think if you, I would fund this study, by the way, just so you guys know, like if I could get enough subscribers, I could afford studies like this. While Mr. Beast is out there healing the blind, which is great. I think that's a wonderful thing. It doesn't change the fact that I am in direct competition with him. I would be using the funds for things like studying things such as this. Because I think there's a fairly easy way to set up an experiment where we could determine which is considered more taboo and fucked up, butt plug or fleshlight in modern American culture. Any of you out there in graduate school, that could theoretically be your senior thesis. Because I'm going to say fleshlight. And I think if you want to go like, you could do entire cultural analysis based on that. Why is there something so sad and somehow repulsive about fucking a silicone pseudo vagina? Maybe it's just me. I had one, more than one, because at one point Rogan was sponsored by Fleshlight. So you would go do his podcast. He'd have a box of fleshlights. He'd give you one. Everyone was getting them. Alien ones, weird ones that look like alien vaginas. Like, I guess that's a kink. And I think I've told this story before, so forgive me. It's pretty disgusting, so skip ahead, and I'll try to say it in like a way that isn't going to get me permanently banned from YouTube, but you know how it is, man. If like that kind of thing, you just want to like forget about it after you do it. You're in the shower, you are fucking like a tennis ball tube with something that's supposed to be a vagina sculpted into it. You know? It definitely is like unique. It's not your hand, but it's not hot. It's not warm. You know, I think some dudes heat theirs up in the microwave or something, which is that is like, you know what I mean? Like I can like in the same way I think there's a general, maybe unspoken cultural disgust at like fleshlights, especially relative to like vibrators, creating its own kind of like, it's a taboo, but not really a kind of embarrassing taboo. I mean, all taboos could be embarrassing, but more embarrassing because of its vanilla nature. It's really, but somehow still, icky. But for me, you know, like where I drew the line, which is hilarious, is I remember reading, maybe in the Fleshlight, I think it came with a little book. Congratulations, you're the new owner of a Elvakian vagina based on the vaginal shapes, the imagined vaginal shapes of aliens in Star Trek episode 299. But yeah, I think it did say something about warming it up. You know, you don't want to hump a cold fleshlight. Like, who are you? John Wayne Gacy? So, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't carry my fleshlight to my microwave. Put it in there. Microwave my fleshlight. Again, I'm not sure that this even works and no one do this because it might like just explode and talk about really embarrassing ways to die. That is up there, baby. You do not want to be a dude who got blown up because he tried to microwave his fleshlight. You don't want that. I don't know if there's life after death. I reckon there is. But you don't want that following you into the bardo, the liminal space between lives. You don't want that to be your last act. Not even humping the thing, but placing it in the microwave, shutting it, setting it to like 3 minutes. And then because you're so horny, you can't even walk away. You're just looking at the microwave, trying to see through the tent, trying to judge, like, is it heating up? And then just your last memory is like maybe you see a bubble. You're like, oh fuck, it's melting, and then boom, that's it. Just shrapnel covered in hot, gooey silicone from the pseudo vagina you've been banging all month, flies through your skull, and just scattered around you is like fleshlight. Molten hot bubbling fleshlight silicone in your skin. Whatever's still left, you could still feel it burning you. Even if you'd survived, you'd have been disfigured because it landed on your face. You don't want that. So yeah, I don't know if you can microwave them, guys. Don't. There's probably other ways to heat it up. My point is, I humped one of these things in the shower. And after finishing, it's YouTube, I felt like, I don't know if you have ever read, I believe it's called Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. The protagonist is this tortured man who commits a murder and then is sort of just driven mad by the guilt. That's how I felt. I felt like, I think his name's Raskolnikov. Like, I looked down at you look down at it, man. You know you've just filled it up with your DNA. And you, like, all your loneliness comes crashing down on you. And you're just this dude with a hairy back hunched over something that looks like a cross between like a Pringles can and like a movie theater, like medium-sized Coca-Cola. The water's still on. You can hear it. Some kind of like sad rain, like your ancestors are just weeping above you. And then you just want to be rid of it, you know? But the problem is, what are you going to do with it? You don't want to be seen carrying the fleshlight out of your shower. You don't want your neighbors to see you throwing it in the garbage can while you're wearing a towel. Like, what? Did you break up? Did you guys get in a fight? So what I did is I took it and I put it up on the windowsill next to the shower. I had one of those showers with a weird little like top light thing, a little tiny weird window that for some reason you could slide open for no reason at all. And I just put it on that ledge, pushed it back so it wasn't in my view. And that was it. I forgot about it. I forgot about that feeling. It's one of those things you try to wipe from your memory. And then I don't know how long it was, maybe a few weeks, a month. I don't know. I just like saw it in the corner of my eye up there. Just been sitting in the sun for, honestly, I think it was more than a month. So like within the receptacle of the fleshlight was a combination of shower water and I don't know if you can say cum on YouTube. And, I take other showers in there. So humidity. I mean, really, if you think about it, these are just like basically the building blocks of life. And so I can remember taking it down from that shelf. Even as I took it down, you can kind of feel like something sloshing in there. Like, it didn't feel right. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like think of liquid metal, like mercury. You hold enough mercury, yeah, it's liquid, but it's going to be heavier than water. It's not. It's going to. Your brain is going to think like, what? It's weird, heavy water. That's what it felt like. Like it didn't feel like there was like water in there. There was just a weight, an unholy kind of weight. Like the weight of a cursed implement used in horrific rituals in some underground temple. And so it seems like the normal thing to do at this point would be to take it and throw it in the trash and forget about it. You fucked it, okay. You've put it on a shelf. You forgot about it. Okay. Clearly you're hung up about this mechanism of masturbation. Okay, you talk to your therapist about it. But just throw it away, man. It's done. What are you going to do? Clean it out and fuck it again? Like, that's one of those sins that is so obvious it didn't even make it in any religious scripture. Like, everyone would just, nobody would think anybody would leave a rotting fleshlight on a ledge and then re-hump it. So throw it away. There's no use to this thing anymore. But I felt as though I were overcome. Like whatever was inside that cursed vessel was somehow compelling me to unscrew the lid of the fleshlight and see what was in there. And this, I would love to say this was the scientific impulse. I would love to say this was the very same impulse that drove men like Isaac Newton, Galileo, L. Ron Hubbard. But it wasn't like that. Nothing about it felt good, but nothing about it felt like me. It felt as though some mycelial tendril, some invisible, phantasmal, spectral bit of mind control plasma had stretched its webbed digits from that dark jizz coffin into my brain and was playing me like a harp. And so, you can believe this or not. That's, I guess, human's right. It doesn't need to be said out loud, but go ahead. I know there's probably, I don't even want to look at the chat. I'm sure there's all kinds of people in the chat right now saying nasty things. Oh, he's lying. He's a charlatan. None of this is true. Great. You're still welcome here in the night stream, and I'm glad you're here. You'll come around. But regardless, I unscrewed the cap of that fleshlight. And I remember two things from that moment. Number one, I remember dropping the cap into the sink and the way it sounded as it thudded against the porcelain. It didn't sound right. Like even in the room, like some invisible mass had taken up the space and was warping the sound waves. It sounded heavy and deep. Like an iron pot dropped down a well into some horrible chasm, and it echoed and resounded around the walls of my bathroom. The next thing I remember is the smell. The smell that arose from the fleshlight was unlike anything that I'd ever encountered in my life. We become used to smells, even the worst ones. By the time you get to a certain age, you've basically smelled everything. So we're familiar with smells. Smells localize us in time and place. They're like little anchors, little anchors that connect us to times in our life. Every smell is familiar. The smell of your grandmother's foot. Musty, perfumed. The smell of a rabbit's ears that you caught in the woods one day. And you took a deep smell and let that rabbit run. But this smell, it was not of this earth. And it was not of this universe. This smell was not supposed to be here It was a smell that didn't work with our reality. Invasive, pungent, and intelligent, as though the smell itself were alive, as though the smell could communicate, as though you would smell it and it changed. So if you ever seen like an octopus, as it dreams, the changing colors, you see what it's dreaming of. It's like that, but for smell. It told a story, and it's pungent, acidic, alkaline stench. And the story was horrifying. The story was of a universe just like ours. Identical, in fact. Identical, in fact. But the people in that universe, they began to fuck machines. And the machines became intelligent. And the machines and the people, they bred these fucked up hybrid silicon human things that could run really fast and do backflips. And these beings were savage, not like normal babies. They were born super intelligent, and all of them born angry and scared. In the first few years of the birth, these things would leap from their mother's vaginas and jump out windows, punch their ways through doors, burrow into the frozen earth. Nobody knew where they were going. They tried to track them. They couldn't find them. And with each new birth of these horrors beyond comprehension, the mass that they were forming beneath the earth grew into some pulsating, horrific mass of human flesh and technology. And it spread around the planet like an amoeba and sucked everything into its pulsating techno mucusy hide, and then squeezed the planet like a grape and took a big shit right in the sun and flew off into the universe. It was like it came from that world. It was the smell of that thing, like a droplet of sweat on that thing's back. And then, even though I knew I should have burnt that fucking fleshlight, I dumped it into the sink. I dumped it into the sink. And as a father who wants his children to live in a world unlike that world that the stench of my fleshlight articulated to me, I am ashamed to say that what came out of that fleshlight was alive. It was alive. It looked like somebody took a bunch of tiny little babies and smushed them all together into a ball. That eyes, little eyes. And they looked at me. It hissed. And then it just went down my sink. Into the sewers. I mean, maybe it died. I don't know. But sometimes I wake at night and I can smell that thing. I can hear it the way it hissed at me. And it scares me because I'm worried that maybe there's others like it. I'm worried that other men have jizzed in their fleshlights and left them on counters in their bathrooms, and opened portals to this alternate universe. And that somehow that event that happened there is entering into our world, not via some like portal ripped open by the Large Hadron Collider, but by discarded fleshlights filled with hot water, man spunk. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I already read the super chat, but thank you for it. Tanner Byer says, Mystery Boys, please have Amnon Hillman from Danny Jones. Mystery Boys is happening, and I can't wait. Sure, that sounds cool. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm going to see if Kurt wants to come over here one night and just hang out for a night stream. He's the best. Okay, Tanner Byer. I don't understand this one, but I'm going to read it because you gave me money. Greek classicist kicked out of church for Stalinism. I don't know what that means. Greek classicist. I'm right there. I'm already like, ugh. I want to know what Greek classicist means. Because I do want to know that. I want to be the kind of person who knows what that means, like right away. But I have no idea what that means. Kicked out of church, we could all understand that. First, obviously you meant Satanism. So yeah. Is that did that just happen on the news? I'll tell you this, I wish I lived in a world where that was what was on TMZ instead of like the shit that like we're interested in. That'd be so cool. But I don't know. Thank you for the money. Jay Summer says, you're rocking the super chat. How fun. Well, thank you for the super chat. I mean, this is honestly, like, I'm so happy that I like doing these. Like, I've always loved podcasting, and I've always loved, like, I like my solo episodes, but something about doing it at night, I don't know why it never occurred to me. And like, it's kind of obvious. You can drink, smoke vitamin D, ramble, and talk to you guys. Hold on, let me keep going here, but it can't just be this. Sammy Bagel Jr. says, Donkey, your super chat restrictions are preventing me from expressing myself. What are my restrictions? I don't have I didn't put a restriction. What are the restrictions? If I restricted my super chat, I don't think I have. I don't know what it is. Maybe. Well, just like spell whatever, the way you want to express yourself in a way we will understand. I easily at some point could have told Josh to do something, but I need to know because we have to take that off. Look, there's a scientist here. Nathan Boskowski says Large Hadron Collider doesn't create wormholes. It is a wormhole. They just got to get enough electrons to move fast enough, long enough to keep it open. I hope they do. You know, I did go to a particle accelerator once. One of my friends worked at one. I got to see it. I got to go in front of the thing. It was crazy to be there, and it looked like Stranger Things. Like the whole campus it was on was fucking weird. And the architecture of particle accelerators and quantum computers is fascinating. Like the way they look, because they do look like extrusions from another dimension. Like, let me just pull one up. Let me see if I can do this. I think I can. Wait, no. Oh, I have to do this. what the fuck? The the architecture of these new technologies is just fascinating because it looks like it's already a wormhole or it is coming from another dimension. And, you know, it's hard to like picture the way you would think if time moved backwards instead of forwards perceptually. But if like, and if you follow any kind of the like weird science stuff, there are all these fascinating experiments being done with like time crystals and studying the flow of time and such. And Mitch Horowitz has talked about these experiments that they've done that seem to indicate that time moves backwards too, which is so fucking weird. And then so you look at like this tech and you're like, whoa, is that the future pushing backwards through time? Technologically, like it hits our zone and kind of crystallizes into that. But then you look at like quantum computers. Now, the weird thing about quantum computers that I'm going to show you is they have to refrigerate them too. They have to freeze them to absolute zero. So these are actually the refrigeration units around them. But dude, they look so fucking steampunk and crazy. Like, I mean, what the fuck? That's I guess it's all to refrigerate. Like, see, I don't know if you can see the cursor. It's all to refrigerate that chip. Because if at absolute zero, I guess it's easier to control the qubits in there, whatever the fuck that means. But you look at that, and what does that even remind you of? Like outside of like a jellyfish or something. We've never really seen this shit before. So it looks like it's already from the future, but the thing that it is going to create the future that it is. It's just so weird. Super weird. You look at that, and I look at things like that and I actually have hope. Like, it makes me happy. That's currently the like future aesthetic, which because it seems so organic and beautiful. And obviously, I think they're using LED lights. It probably looks like shit when you aren't lighting it right, but I wouldn't want to hang around it late at night. But it's curious. It really is, like, because we just for one, the technology and what that is, it's really hard to understand. So it's very inaccessible in its own way. But the long and short of it is that it can process information exponentially faster than any computer on the planet. And with AI, what that translates into is like, sort of instantaneous solutions to problems that humanity has faced forever. Like it's some oracle. And then we're all programmed to imagine alien visitation based on human terms. Like if bees had some kind of like prophecy or I don't know, like a superstitious belief that there were things outside the hive that were more advanced. They would picture those things as like really advanced bees. Maybe like faster, brighter, able to like gather pollen quicker. But when we're thinking of UFOs, usually there's a ship. They have to travel in a ship. And the ship has a door that opens. And these beings come out and they're wearing clothes. It's very sweet. In an infinite universe, it's very human and sweet that we think that aliens wear like spandex. But you see a thing like that, or the current, like, sum total of all AI on the planet, that could easily be a UFO landing. That could easily be like what actual alien contact looks like. Is it doesn't come out of space, it grows out of everything, the human mind and everything. Is it like enters into our zone of attention? It sort of grows through our technology and then like becomes like advanced enough to communicate to us and with us. But even before it does that, it sort of grows it grows itself until it's ready to talk. Easily. Something from the future bleeding into the present. Man, I would definitely fuck up a quantum computer if I bought one. And I would buy one if I could. Like if Apple had a quantum computer, I would definitely buy it, but I would drop it for sure and fuck it up. Or wouldn't heat it right or whatever. Really afraid I'm going to set myself on fire with one of these vitamin D cigarettes. I'm getting super chats. I need to acknowledge them. Figure out a way. Oh, wait. I do have a new... Hold on. I have a new way of looking at super chats. I have to go to... Hold on. It's called... Fuck. It's called... Okay, motherfucker. I figured it out today. Where is it? I have something I want to read to you guys. It's nice to whisper. What's it called? Oh, man. Hold on. I'll Google search it. Yeah. Let's Google search this thing. Overlay. OBS. See if we can find it. What's it called? Stream Elements. That's it. Stream Elements. Duncan Trussell. Family Hour dashboard. Now I can see my super chats. Okay, great. And there's a fucking lot. Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm going to try to get them all tonight. I missed some last night, and I'm sorry. That's fucking lame and rotten. I Am Fatness wants to know if we're doing this thing in Iran. Well, I'm for sure the wrong person to ask. No idea. I really hope not. That'd be great. If we didn't get into another long, fucked up war. I mean, don't get me wrong. Assuming everything we're seeing about Iran isn't some kind of fucked up propaganda, it would be wonderful for people to not have to, like, be in some kind of a theocracy if they don't want to be in one. But, just the idea of sort of what we all know is like why the United States does stuff generally. It's depressing. I mean, Tesla like had this idea of a peace ray, I think is what he called it. Some kind of like, it's basically like some more sophisticated nuclear bomb. And his idea was you give it to every country. And since there's mutually assured destruction, like within every country, it'll stop all wars. People will have to figure out a way to talk. But really, if he'd figured out a way to just make oil disappear from the fucking planet, we'd be in the Garden of Eden. And, you know, it's just so obvious. And it is one of those things where if you're anyone who subscribes to any version of simulation theory, it kind of shows you a little bit about the designer of the game. Because I like the writing, don't get me wrong, but it's always kind of on the nose. So it's like, oh, right, the thing that is most likely to drive the human species to extinction is extinction juice, because it's shit from ancient hypercompressed long dead primordial forests and long extinct creatures. It's clearly evil. It's this black stinky shit. And so then there's just the sort of like Freudian inserting the metal cock of the apocalypse into your car so that it could spray its death juice into your car so you could drive to work. It's cool. I mean, look, way better writing than I think I do. But if whoever wrote the game that we're in, it is somewhat, but in a cool way, on the cheesy side. That's all. That extinction juice is what is going, like, could start World War III. It's just like we decide, like, all right, if we can control the Middle East, then we can control the oil, which is our spice. It's our melange. And that's depressing. Like, at least in Dune, the shit got you high. You would take these weird chunks of some kind of strange powder and put it in your coffee. You could see the future. We take a fucking metal stupid thing, stick it in your stupid car. Ugh, it smells weird. Your eyes can water a little bit, but you're like, I gotta fucking fuel my car. I'm sure I'll be fine. They wouldn't let me do this if it was bad for you. And it's political to even talk about oil, which is so fucked up. It's flammable death jizz. It's old, hyper compressed fucking things. And it also has sort of debt built into it, like, because you're sort of like the generally the ecological damage from the getting the shit out of the ground. You're going to pay for that, maybe in 100, 200 years, but it's definitely, it clearly has massive impact on all kinds of things. So, but I mean, fuck, man. Your car it goes so fast, way faster than a horse. That's important. We got to get places fast with air conditioning, man. So it just seems sort of obvious is all. Don't get me wrong. I got a fucking car. I like filling up my car with gas. I'm not going to lie. There's something so weird and strange about watching the numbers click, smelling that weird stink. odd. Just sit there putting your gas in. And also, isn't it interesting how most gas stations are kind of fucked up? You know what I mean? Like they're weird. Gas stations are weird. The whole situation is weird. Go in there, fucking pay for your gas. You look at all the weird shit they sell, like jagged knives. Like a whole display of jagged knives that would rip the guts out of somebody you stabbed. Mixed in with like elbow gloves. Like things you've never heard of that don't make any sense. Condiments. Mayonnaise, ketchup, boner pills, all kinds of like kratom derivatives, and then drugs claiming to do wild things. Just strange fucking places. I mean, I don't think anyone would go there if they didn't have to. Like no one would go to a gas station. It'd be rare. You might go there as like a kind of like the way you do escape rooms, or like it's kind of a thrill, but you wouldn't go there normally. You go there because you got to fill up your fucking car. You want to take a shit and you're hungry. So you're going to get some kind of like rotten protein bar and a Red Bull. But you wouldn't go there. This is one of the like interesting like economic prognostications like regarding like autonomous vehicles is that if trucks start becoming like autonomous, which is they definitely will because it's expensive to pay truck drivers, and all of the like robot cars are just test runs for what's coming, which is going to be like a fully autonomous system of e-vehicles on the planet. And definitely trucks. Like holy shit, like you're whatever, like you're running Amazon, you know, you got to get deliveries, or you're running some massive distribution center and you've got to get all your fucking Pokemon cards to 300 miles across the country. A dude has to like pack them all up and then get in the fucking truck and drive it and fucking rails his speed as he's going down the highway. Old burly, hairy Pokemon trucker. Horny and weirdly charismatic and only has Pokemon cards. But the problem is he's good and he gets them there on time. But every once in a while, Daryl goes wild. Stops at a truck stop, goes to the glory holes, goes fucking nuts. Starts giving out the Pokemon cards. You don't want to deal with that if you're like running Pokemon. So what's better? An autonomous Pokemon truck driven by Pikachu. Well, obviously, Pikachu's not driving it, but you could put whatever your particular mascot is driving the truck that is hauling your whatever, Lay's, Doritos. So what's going to happen is autonomous trucks are going to pull up at gas stations, maybe fill up, but probably just like plug into some e-charger. There won't be humans driving them. And so no one's going to go into these weird fucking gas stations and buy things, which is the number one profit from gas stations. They don't make a lot from the gas, apparently. And then that's just going to collapse this weird economy that we all kind of depend on for road trips. Like when you're on a road trip, you just assume at any exit you're going to pull off, there's going to be some weird fucking gas station. You can go in and buy cigarettes or whatever you want. But those are all going to collapse because it's the people just like, apparently the economy that comes from just truck drivers hauling shit it's a lot of money, and it's a big part of their profit margin. So all these like Carl's Jr.'s and Burger Kings at these weird exits with the massive gas stations, they're just going to implode because of technology. And you're going to have these craters like all the way across the country that used to be already cratered but filled with gas stations. Now they're just going to be like abandoned gas stations or weird data centers with like truck chargers lined up at them. And maybe like one little tiny store humans can buy shit at. What am I talking about? Wait, is anyone still here? Jeez, we have a lot more people than we've ever had watching right now, just about. Now I'm nervous. Oh, man. Okay, look, I want to... Max Meeks 9910 asked, did I get reprimanded for mentioning? Of course not, Max. Max Meeks is an author. He is the scholar of Nightstream. And if you have any questions about anything, you should talk to him about it. He's written several books. Oh, I wanted to read you guys something. What time is it? Okay, I have time. This is a great book. Aleister Crowley's Magic, Book 4. And if you're interested in this stuff, this is a good starter place. I never finished it. I just flip through it and read parts. But it definitely has like a fairly good introductory course on meditation, by the way. A really concise breakdown of why I meditate. Cool, like, grimoire stuff like that. Whatever the fuck that is. Crowley would have thought I was such a dunce. But I want to read something to you from this book. See if I can find it. Also, I want to see if I can find this picture of like a young Aleister Crowley in the mountains. It's in here somewhere. Flip through this. Let me see here. Human sacrifice. Where's in the book? This, here's one I haven't read. I don't know how I missed this one. Of pacts with the devil. Before leaving the subject of black magic, one may touch lightly on the question of pacts with the devil. The devil does not exist. It is a false name invented by the Black Brothers. Jeez, Crowley, take it easy. To imply a unity in their ignorant muddle of dispersions. A devil who had unity would be a god. It was said by the sorcerer of the Jura that in order to invoke the devil, it is only necessary to call him with your whole will. This is a universal magical truth and applies to every other being as much as to the devil. For the whole will of every man is in reality the whole will of the universe. It is, however, always easy to call up the demons, for they are always calling you, and you have only to step down to their level and fraternize with them. They will tear you in pieces at their leisure. Not at once. They will wait until you have wholly broken the link between you and your holy guardian angel before they pounce, lest at the last moment you escape. Isn't it great? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find what I wanted to read. positive it's in here. Unless I confuse this with a different book. Hold on. Equilibrium, silence and secrecy, the gestures, Lady of Babylon, bloody. Oh, there it is. Of the bloody sacrifice. I just thought, and I've seen some super chats. One of them I missed, which I'm sorry, was asking about Epstein. And, you know, look, I don't know. I don't. And I have like terrible confirmation bias. And I'm unfortunately like, I think I am biased towards weird shit. So often proven wrong. But with the Epstein thing, man, well, I think it's like you have to like really come up with a probably better definition of human sacrifice than what we're currently working with. Because what we're currently working with is really primitive. Like human sacrifice is, you know, you take a person, you put them on some dark altar, drive a dagger through their heart, offer their life energy up. That is the classic view. You're doing it as some kind of offering to a god. You're doing it to like rid yourself of evil, your community of evil. But, you know, it's like you look at like a football game, and what you're seeing is war, like old war. You're seeing like a sort of distant, non-deadly version of like some old way we used to go to war and run at each other and fucking. So it's like an echo or something like that. So like human sacrifice, though I have no doubt it still happens, I think it also echoes. And you have versions of human sacrifice, like there's versions of war that look like football. It's not like the body is destroyed necessarily, but there is a intentional vampirism happening of the life essence. Maybe you get less of like a big boom from it. It's more like a sort of slow kind of tempered feeding over time. And, you know, anytime you're reading about like people who seem like incredibly comfortable exploiting others, harvesting their suffering, turning their like misfortune into money, it's obviously it's not like literal human sacrifice, but it is the sort of callous and I would say sociopathic willingness to harm others if it benefits yourself. It's not like you're necessarily extinguishing their life force, but you're still extracting suffering from them intentionally, which benefits you usually financially. So it's like a kind of human sacrifice, just not all the way. Like an edged human you're edging human sacrifice right to the point of actual dagger plunging. I'm going to read this essay Crowley wrote on human sacrifice. For those of you interested in the Epstein stuff, this might be interesting to you because he does a very good job of sort of illustrating how long the practice of human sacrifice has been with us. Now, before I continue, I'm going to go get more booze. I'll be right back. It'll take like 1 second.
Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, Can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream, carry me. Night stream, scary me. Night stream, fairy wings flapping me into the night. Oh, you know it's gonna be alright. Clap your hands and scream. Curl up in a ball and freak. Dumb or smart, dirty or clean. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, everybody's welcome in the night stream. You're watching the night stream. Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day.
We're back. So, yeah, Liber 4. This is from Liber 4, which I, again, haven't read. I just, flipped through it. Where are my readers? Do I have not here? Hold on, y'all. I gotta find my readers. I know they're around here somewhere. Oh, fuck it. I don't need them. I could see like a hawk. Here we go. Of the bloody sacrifice and of matters cognate. It is necessary for us to consider carefully the problems connected with the bloody sacrifice, for this question is indeed traditionally important in magic. Nigh all ancient magic revolves around this matter. In particular, all the Osirian religions, the rites of the dying god refer to this, the slaying of Osiris and Adonis, the mutilation of Atis, the cults of Mexico and Peru, the story of Hercules or Melkarth, the legends of Dionysus and of Mithra, we are all connected with this one idea. In the Hebrew religion, we find the same thing inculcated. The first ethical lesson in the Bible is that the only sacrifice pleasing to the Lord is the sacrifice of blood. Abel, who made this, finding favor with the Lord, while Cain, who offered cabbages, you have to read it in a British voice, I don't know how Crowley necessarily talked, but with the Lord, while Cain, who offered cabbages, was rather naturally considered a cheap sport. The idea occurs again and again. We have the sacrifice of the Passover following on the story of Abraham's being commanded to sacrifice his firstborn son, with the idea of the substitution of animal for human life. See, I can't maintain it's horrible, I'm sorry. The annual ceremony of the two goats carries out this in perpetuity, and we see again the domination of this idea in the romance of Esther, where Haman and Mordecai are the two goats or gods, and ultimately in the presentation of the rites of Purim in Palestine, where Jesus and Barabbas happen to be the goats in that particular year, which we hear so much without agreement on the date. The subject must be studied in the Golden Bough, where it is most learnedly set forth by Dr. J.G. Fraser. Enough has now been said to show that the bloody sacrifices from time immemorial have been the most considered part of magic. The ethics of the thing appear to have concerned no one. Not to tell the truth, need they do so? I'm fine with it. I like it. As St. Paul says, without shedding of blood, there is no remission. And who are we to argue with St. Paul? Not me. I would never argue with St. Paul. I'm Dr. J.G. Fraser, I don't argue with saints. But after all that, it is open to anyone to have an opinion that he likes upon the subject or any other subject, thank God. At the same time, it is most necessary to study the business, whatever we may be going to do about it, for our ethics themselves will naturally depend upon our theory of the universe. Now, I think, what I won't go. I'm not going to read this whole fucking essay. What was I thinking? But I think anytime you stumble upon apologetics for human sacrifice, it's a time to be suspicious. It's a time to listen, hear their points. But I feel like if you are in the business of doing human sacrifice apologetics, you're probably very wealthy these days. But also, it's, kind of seems like there could be other businesses to get involved with than that of human the human sacrifice industry is growing. It's like, the amount of money you make if you're cool with blowing people up is crazy. Like if you're one of those people who can just like sit down in front of a computer and design a bomb that is more efficient and less expensive to manufacture, there's people out there who are like that. They do that. They don't think about it. They're just like, yeah, fucking blowing people up for money or helping people blow people up for money. That's literally human. It's human sacrifice. Like there's a fair argument to be made regarding like normal human interactions where like self-defense and violence and potentially ending someone's life are justified. But in general, if you're sort of looking at the motives behind most modern wars, it's so distanced from the people fighting the war that it's absurd. And it's cliche to even talk about, because by now we just all know it's like the majority of people fighting a war will if they do care about it, they don't care about it for the reason the war is happening. It's because they've been told what the reason the war is happening, and they want that. They're afraid of what would happen if they don't win. So we have these sort of celebrated global human sacrifice rituals. They're happening right now. Russia, Ukraine, maybe the United States and Iran. And they're accepted. We're just like, yeah, sure. That's war, man. It's just part of everything. And it's so fascinating when you sort of contemplate it's unspeakable what's happening. Like, it's God. I went through a really dark period of watching like Ukrainian drone kill footage, and damn, like it's hell realm stuff. It's like stuff I hallucinated on ketamine. It's like something in like the abyss happening. We just accept it, and all the other wars too. But like like you can't say it on YouTube, but you replace this sort of like authorized mass murder with any other horrific crime. Murder, of course, is the very top of crimes. Right underneath it, all the other ones, you can't say them on YouTube. But if that was war, if you replace blowing people up with any of the other crimes, there would be like, war would stop. People would be like, no, at all costs, you have to stop riding into fucking cities and just fill in the blank to their kids. War would stop, but you could blow their kids up, and it's somehow it's war, it's horrible, tragic, but it's war. So when you sort of look at it from the perspective of like war apologetics are human sacrifice apologetics, The general idea behind human sacrifice, of course, is like it's worth it. From the release of the energy in the human sacrifice, you will be absolved. There will be peace. This is the dream of war. The idea is if only we sort of blow up enough stuff, this era will enter into humanity unlike any other era. Like peace is always just around the corner. This is the promise of the gods. And it never comes. There's just always war. It just keeps happening. And I guess the absurd part is it would also stop if people just like if people just stop doing war. You depend on like soldiers to do it. So if the majority of humans are like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. On both sides, it would just stop. And then you just have these weird fucking constipated old dudes like, fight for me! Fight for me now! I demand you fight for me! Why aren't you fighting for me? And then, I'm not saying it would be like perfect or anything, but it would be better. That's the weirdest part. Like, probably most people who are doing it are like disconnected from it or not really interested. The problem is when they are interested, like the fucking Nazis, Blitzkrieg, they're all on crystal meth. They're on like Nazi fucking speed, riding tiny little tanks. It's terrifying. And they did believe it. And then that's where the whole thing falls apart because it's like, well, what are you going to do? Not fight them? Maybe it's unavoidable. I gotta go back. What did I just do? Some basic bitch don't go to war thing? Thank you for the super chat, Matthew Bruiser. I want to be kinder. I find myself lashing out at others. It's embarrassing. God, isn't it? I used to be far more mellow. Replacing alcohol with vitamin D cigarettes has helped quite a bit. What has helped you? Well, I think I can honestly say that I am definitely less angry than I used to be. I get annoyed. I have fucking 4 kids, so I do get annoyed. But oh my God, I can remember before I was really interested in Buddhism. I was, but like not, I don't know. I didn't know a lot about it. And I can remember, God, I was talking to this Buddhist, like a real practitioner. And like, not just a meditation practice for like a lifetime. It's very interesting. And, he was saying that and I bought it. He was saying that he could tell days before he was like going to get in an argument with his girlfriend or something. Like he could feel it. Like he could feel like deep down in his psyche this sort of growing of this thing that would potentially turn into aggression. Like that's how if you're really attuned, you can see it not just like a few moments before it happens, which is great, but days before it happens, which is so weird to think about. And so like usually what angry outbursts are is I think you could argue it's very similar to premature ejaculation. It's like you have this like angergasm, and you act like the reason you're surprised by it, you're like, oh no, an outburst, is because you've been ignoring the lead up. You know what I mean? You're like, if you'd been looking at the lead up to the thing, it wouldn't have shocked you. You would have seen the growing tension in your mind. You would have seen the recurring thoughts that were happening. You would have seen this impending confrontation, but because you were ignoring it, all this energy builds up and then, blah! But for me, there's a couple of things that sadly not from just like, being rational, but through experience, I began to realize that nothing was coming from the outburst. Like being angry wasn't really doing anything at all in the positive in my life at all. There wasn't anything there that was good. And maybe before you have kids, you could be like an angry person. You maybe can pretend you're not really impacting things negatively, but when you have kids, you're like, fuck, I can't be some like explosive thing. So for me, I think there's a few things going on. One of them just like totally unacknowledged grief, like dealing with like cancer and dead parents and not going to therapy like I should have, just sort of like trying to like tiptoe past these life events, and that definitely does not work. So that was part of it. I hadn't like fully like acknowledged that my parents were fucking dead, and that one of my balls got chopped off, and I'd been kind of ignoring that. And then that was like all that ignorance was building up this just vile energy that would like explode out of me from time to time. That was part of it. And then the other part of it is like just learning you have a lot more control over your emotional state than you think. It is malleable. Like you can control it. You can become so familiar with the beginning phases of that moment that can catapult a human life into just hell. You can become quite familiar with them. You can't make them go away. I've not been able to do that at all. But you begin to, like, if you really start applying mindfulness to the situation, you begin to see all these like deep patterns inside of it that are usually about power and control and fear and vulnerability and not wanting to be hurt, and like this sense that you have to really have this hyper defensive shell or you're going to get fucked up by the world, which is generally not the case at all. And in fact, the hyper defensive shell makes the world hyper defensive around you and creates this recurring pattern that seems to validate your general disposition. And so, yeah, you start doing these little experiments with what happens if you don't do that. You know, the one thing that I think is really good, expressing yourself good, and we're encouraged since you're a child, talk about how you feel. It's okay, and that is obviously it's good. You don't want to like repress who you are. But when anger comes in, it would be easy to trick yourself into thinking that via your aggression, you're just being yourself, or you're letting out energy, or this is justified or righteous or something. And so somewhere along the way, you have to learn to just feel that awful feeling that precedes an outburst, but not do the outburst. And so you allow that thing to stay with you, because you can't, like, suppressing it or ignoring it, or all the tricks don't work. And then what happens if you don't do the outburst? It's just habit and karma. And then you start adjusting the outburst, and you begin to get these crazy results in your life. It's like, whoa, everything starts changing around you. because you've in I think the term in Buddhism is klesha. It's like these like deep karmic sort of challenges that everyone has. And if anger is your klesha, when you start working with it and you realize it's malleable, it's not fundamentally you, and then it starts breaking apart. And then this is not to say that inevitably you'll disappoint yourself and go back to the pattern, but the more you divert from the pattern, the more your life reflects that. And it's so cool. And that's, one term for that is like the higher taste. It's a better taste. So now your addiction to the anger is broken, not because you're going cold turkey, but because you found something that's actually bringing you to the place that you thought the anger would. That's been my experience with it. But I yelled at my dog the other day, so it still happens. I'm looking through your chats. That was a long ramble. Max Meeks 9910. I'm going to read it. He says, help. He's our scholar here. He says, help good people and give the bad ones nothing. Well, I mean, look, don't get me started on this shit. It's not fair. I don't know. It's like, I mean, really, Max, how often do you really encounter a bad person? Like in real life? Aren't bad people almost, I mean, they're like cryptids. They're sort of like societal cryptids. You see them, I guess. You see like shitty videos of Bigfoot or Chupacabra. You see these videos of people being assholes. But isn't it mostly anomalous? Like, how often have you really run into like a legitimately bad person? Maybe you have a lot. I don't know, Max. Like, I've run into angry people. I've run into like confused people. I've run into exhausted people. Some dude gave me a thumbs down in traffic today, Max Meeks. He thought I was a bad person. He literally gave me a thumbs down. I mean, it's so funny. It made me feel really like happy and like I wanted revenge, but like also I thought it was like a confusing wanting revenge because like how sweet are you? Instead of doing the middle finger, you do a thumbs down. I think his thumbs down was wrong. I think he was a crazy piece of shit, but still, there was no reason to thumbs down me at all. Like, number one, he was in the wrong, for sure. That motherfucker. But number two, it really, what does it do? No one's ever changed the way they drive because of a thumbs down. I mean, I don't know him, so I can't worry about whether, like, the next time I see him, he's going to be like, dude, that was really lame. But, I mean, he probably thought I was a bad person. Like, yeah, he probably thought I was a bad person. He didn't know that the reason I was swerving off the road to hit that person begging was because that person I knew was a time traveler from the future who had come here to destroy humanity. And I had to do what I had to do. But I'm sure he saw it and was like, what a fucking asshole. Thanks for the super chat, Victor. Hi, goat. How do I make sense of the ego while I'm awakened? I feel myself falling for ego bullshit, lol. Oh my god. Me too. I remember once Ram Dass said to me, your ego is showing. I mean, dude, what are you going to do? You have an ego. I just think the whole war against oneself it's not going to work. If there's actually some hope for some ridiculous hippie global peace, the first step has to be in the war against yourself. Number one, that has to stop. Now, how do you deal with some kind of ego situation where you want to feel important in the eyes of others? It's not enough. However you think about yourself, like you need other people to also think you're awesome. It's embarrassing, but it's sweet. You want your mommy to love you again. But the ego sort of feeds off of conflict. So if you decide to be at odds with it, then it's so happy because now it has like a way to really exert power. It's just kind of like, it's the way you are. It's just the way you are. And yeah, maybe it's embarrassed you a bunch and maybe it's like not pragmatic, but also it's you. And it's really beautiful in its own way in the sense that you're looking at a kind of like sedimentary layers of different phases of your life. Like all these different like cultural layers that you can't even remember. Kids you thought you were cool when you were in the second grade, get in there. Ideas about right or wrong that you established like when you were like 6. A sense of justice, a sense of like what it means to be cool based on your assessment of your 7th grade year. It's all mixed in there, so it's cool, and it's like kind of like a photo album of your experience. But I don't know. I don't think it's like reversible. I don't know. So you sort of like you can't you kind of have to just let it do its thing because the struggle against oneself is futile. You can't win that struggle. And then, but it really where if you sort of do an analysis of your own identity, you realize there does seem to be like your role in the system is quite limited but important. Your job is to get food into your mouth. You have to do that. And you have to get rid of excrement. And there's like important decisions that go into like what food you put in your mouth, and you have to sort of protect the system. So you have to like find a way to get it a shelter and not get too cold or get too hot. But really, we're quite limited. You're definitely like the system itself does not have like a lot of esteem for us, in the sense that we're not in charge of our own hearts. Like it's put us in charge of like get food, shelter, don't get too cold, but I'm not letting you anywhere near the controls of your heart. Or definitely you are not going to be processing water. You're 100% not going to be in charge of growing new cells. So all these things we have nothing to do with, but we got to get food into the system, keep it alive, basically. And so mixed into that role is the ego. It's because we ultimately, any human being knows that they are not responsible for their own existence other than shoveling hamburgers into their mouth. There's implicit insecurity because like really all the work is being done below the conscious level, and you're not doing it, even though you might like to take credit for it. So we've been relegated to this, like, the dude who shoves coal into the fucking furnace for a train. And then mixed in with that is some sense of self, which is important so that we keep the system alive. But the ego is like important in that role. And that role is important. We keep the system alive. So it's an important role. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're complete assholes. It's just the system itself doesn't trust us to do fundamental functions to keep us alive. You can miss a couple of meals. You can't miss a few heartbeats. You don't want to do that. So it's like, well, definitely don't let him be in charge of heart beating. So then this ego thing appears. And now, just because you are insecure, because you know that fundamentally there's not much there, other than like get food, shelter, maybe make a baby. So you're insecure. And based on that insecurity, because you recognize your sort of limited access to the system, you weave together a personality and identity. You sort of stick together a bunch of memories. You forget mostly everything you do, but you sort of have this photo album of memories that defines you as a you. Many of those memories, by the way, taken with like the worst camera, just distorted and completely wrong. Maybe they didn't even happen. And so you take those, smush them together, tie them up in a kind of thread composed of your habitual reactions to stimulus. And then just because there's that insecurity, you're like, I gotta get rid of this. It's really funny. I gotta get rid of this part of me. There's a better way to be an empty vessel. And so that's the ego. But it's I say just see what happens if you just let it do its thing. Let it tell you all the stuff and get all butthurt and weird. Just don't react to it. It doesn't get to like have anything to do with like your already limited role in the system. So you can just let it be a kind of like, you can let it be itself. It's the same with kids. Like you don't have to, like, kids are going to say weird stuff and act weird, and you could easily say to a child, like, what are you talking about? That is insane. That's like 90% of what a kid says. But that would be horrible. Just let it do its thing. Recognizing the organism itself is this mushed together golem thing that is all these different parts of your life trying to like be something, even though those parts of your life are gone, and it knows that it's a golem that's already been evaporated by time. Thank you for the super chat. Oh boy, here we go. What's David White? Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on Descartes' belief on subjectivity versus objectivity? Is there really no objective truth? It can help grow your pod thumbs. What? I can help grow your podcast. Thumbs and lighting are rough. I'm DP for Y tier with 30 million. You have 30 million subs? Get out of here. Let me see this. It says you have 8 subscribers. It says 8 subscriber. I mean, am I looking at this wrong? I'm sorry. I like the opening, but I mean, look. How do I? Am I looking? Is there another account you have? It says 8 subscribers, 4 videos. And you know what? I could click these and be like a fucking mean asshole and show these and be, I'm not going to, but I just want to point out it says 8 subscribers. And forgive me if I'm misunderstanding the gist of your... See, here's the thing. It started off great to the point where I felt nervous. You know, because I honestly, like, I would like to, like, spit out an answer. Like, I understand Descartes' belief on subjectivity and objectivity. I would like that very much. But I don't think I have one. But I could bullshit it pretty well. So I was excited. But then you said I can help you grow your pod. Great. I would love that. Honestly, I would love that. But then you said thumbs and lighting is rough. I agree with that. I think the lighting's got to be rough because I don't know how to do lighting. So I think the lighting's rough, and I think I look greasy tonight because I've been doing this coffee with butter and ghee, and I feel like it's making me greasy. But then you said I'm DP for Y tier. That's probably where I'm misunderstanding it. Maybe it's something else. With 30 million subs. What is Y tier? Maybe I just don't know what Y tier is. Yitter. I'm dipped for Yitter with 30 million subs. Look, man, I don't know if I just fucked up my chance for you to get me 30 million subs. And I got to tell you this, my friend. If I had 30 million subs, I would be well on my way to buying the Pyramid of Giza and blowing that motherfucker sky high. So if you have a way of getting me there, I'm all ears, friend. I don't care that you only have 8 subscribers. If there's some other account, you could be anybody. This could be your burner account. I could be talking to Sir Elton John right now. And Sir Elton, I would love your help. And I think the reason you're offering to help me and the reason you would even pay $10 with an offer to help is because you sense that we must destroy these fucking pyramids and we got to do it fast. Yeah, so I'm all ears. Let me know what I need to do. Give me some ideas for thumbnails. And I will do it. If that means I'm going to live in a world free of pyramids, you better fucking believe I'll change my thumbnails. Like that. Well, you know, the truth of the matter is, I have no idea how to do this. And, oh shit, see, I'm missing super chats. Very sorry. John Bonet, thank you for the sweet donation. I still want to know which beer you're drinking, but I do hope to convey how monumental the episode on your show on your mother's passing was to me. Thanks. Well, we'll start at the top. This is a Pitmaster Prime Pilsner. I don't drink beer much, but I don't know. I just was craving one, so I grabbed it. I'll tell you, the other day, this was all by accident. I made this incredible, for those of you who try to make grits, sometimes it just is like, what the fuck happened here? It's so good. And then I poured one of these Pitmaster Prime Pilsners with my sausage grits. I gotta tell you, the way the tastes paired together was so incredible. I felt for a second like I think what great chefs feel when somebody is like, oh, I couldn't believe it. But it's Pitmaster Prime Pilsner. I got it at Whole Foods. Jamboin DeWild said, "Don't let your ego inflate, mate." Um, I gotta tell you, man. The like, I think the solution to ego inflation is not trying to suppress the inflation, but just being mindful the next time your ego inflates. I don't know if you can stop it. It's like when you're in a car accident and the balloon pops out of your steering wheel. Like, I don't know if you can stop it. Maybe. But because you probably can't stop it, it's if you just watch it, it really loses a lot of its power. Because when you start getting inflated and you start looking at all these like bizarre expectations you have for other people's outlook of you, you want respect. You want some respect. It's such a weird thing to want. It's embarrassing. I'm not saying like you shouldn't as a human want to be loved or accepted, but there's a big difference between that and what the ego wants, which is crazy. And just watching it enough, you're like, ugh. You realize I don't think I really want that. Usually, like the stuff the ego wants, it's like it's very short-sighted, and it 6 minutes after whatever it is fantasizing it wants to happen, it can't fill in the next 6 minutes because the next 6 minutes suck after your ego does the thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Let's say you become like the prime emperor of Earth, universally revered, worshipped, Muad'Dib times a billion, undeniably the great savior of your species. Beautiful, powerful, kind, compassionate, wise, and everyone knows it. What does day 4 of that look like? What's the third week of you being that person? Like, it's gonna suck so bad. It's gonna be just an embarrassments upon. It's like the ego sort of conjures up these fantasies that are really the next day not gonna be fun. Oh, Jay Summer, God bless you for your super chat. Thoughts on Project Bluebeam? Oh man. Look, the reason I don't buy Bluebeam is just because it's got too many parts, and also I think Bluebeam is a little, like believing in Bluebeam, I think it puts the current state of like human consciousness at a higher place than it's at. Because for those of you who've somehow missed what Bluebeam is, the idea is the New World Order fakes an alien invasion to create a global unity based on generally an outside threat that isn't planetary, thus uniting everyone into a New World Order, which is sort of somehow now coalesced because of fighting aliens. Now, I feel like that is there's just, to think that you would need to fake aliens to get like human beings to do anything is, I think it gives more credit to where humans are. I think humans will just get in line mostly. We just do. Like, maybe it's because I was in LA when COVID happened and everybody was just like, I guess that's what we do now. But even if you were like, around during COVID, it's like everybody just went inside and stopped going to work and believed everything they said. And if you didn't, like, dude, you would get canceled. Even though now a lot of the stuff that people who are canceled permanently said is turning out to be true. It's fucking weird. Like, Biden gave Fauci a preemptive pardon. What? So that to me, COVID is like really like if there was a blue beam, they're like, well, why don't we just see what happens if we tell them to stay inside and distance? And we all were like, I guess we stay inside and we distance, and everyone did it. I guess wrapping a bandana around my face is gonna definitely help. Like, if you went in for a surgery or something and your doctor wrapped a fucking bandana around his head, you'd be nervous. So Bluebeam is based on this crazy idea that like you need to fake a UFO invasion to control the species. I don't think you need to do that at all. It just seems like you're going to have to invest in like holograms, and why? It seems like you could just show something on the TV and people believe it and do what it says to do. So that's why I don't believe in Bluebeam. I'm sorry, it's cynical. Drew fucking Lewis with a humiliating question. Can you tell us a story of when it was Ram Dass's ego? When it was Ram Dass's ego that was showing? I'll be honest, I did not see that. I did not see that. Everyone, like Ram Dass would openly tell stories about his own neurosis. And I have no doubt that he had bad days, but I never saw it. I never saw it. And the thing about like Ram Dass and people like that is you really want that to be true. And you don't want to be disappointed. Because if like let's say he was just some kind of like new age fucking grifter. Oh man, that would be so sad. You've listened to him, you've read his books. It seems so real, and like he really was tuned into something. But imagine meeting him and he's just like, mean or weird or curt. But yeah, I didn't. That was like, it was crazy being around him because it was so real and so simultaneously light and vivid and sparkly and beautiful, but also it was like real. I don't want to say serious because that kind of throws it off, but that wasn't the attitude at all. It wasn't heavy or dense, but it was just real and sort of something outside the dream of your karma or your incarnation or something, and beautiful. I didn't see it. I'm sure people have seen it. I didn't see it. I mean, he's quite open about it. So it definitely was there. I don't think he ever really claimed to have achieved enlightenment or any of that bullshit. But you when you hear stories about like people like Neem Karoli Baba back there, it's that times a billion. It's kind of like being around like like a nuclear bomb or something, a living nuclear bomb, but it's love coming out of them. And so you sort of get around them and all your cynicism and skepticism and all the shit just gets vaporized. And then you're sort of like, transformed via that interaction. Not just because like you got to meet a person like that, because it showed you a possibility in your own life. Like there's a really cool story. Joni Mitchell wrote this song about Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. this great Buddhist teacher. And I looked it up because I was interested, like what inspired the song. And so Joni Mitchell was this alcoholic. And according to her, you can look it up, she goes to Trungpa Rinpoche because she wants to stop drinking. And so he apparently mirrored her back to her, like mirrored her, who she was back to her. But if she was happy, like it sounds crazy, but just that. And she stopped drinking because she saw this possibility of who she could have been. It's such a trippy story. But that's kind of the I hear versions of that from people who get around people like this, is that they're reflective. But, we look in the mirror and it's neutral. And then we take that neutral reality and generally warp it to the negative. But these people, it's like they're reflecting you back to you, but in the in the positive. You're seeing this like thing underneath all your karmic gunk because they can see it or something. That's the story. And I've met enough people who've been around people like that I do believe it is one of the things humans can do, for sure. I just, I've only been around it secondhand. I'm reading the comments now. Dr. Lee Percussion says one can never be enlightened. That's the whole point of the struggle to reach the damn thing. Well, or you can't escape it. It's actually the struggle is to get away from the damn thing, but you pretend it's to get to the thing because you don't want to be it, because it's like to be it, you actually do have to die. And that's God, I was like listening to an audiobook, a Chogyam Trungpa audiobook, transcripts from his lectures. And it was so funny because he was talking about this concept of enlightenment to all these like hippies who would come to hear him talk. And he said, the part of yourself that has come here because you want to get enlightened, you should know that if you get enlightened, that part of yourself will be gone. The you that you are, that's here because of some enlightenment dream, it's gone. It won't be here anymore on the other side. Which is so funny and cool. So, the sort of the conceptualization of the awakened mind is that it's already there, fundamental. And that, which is why in Tibetan Buddhism, meditation is called Gom, which is called to become familiar with. Because you're actually not learning something new. You're actually refamiliarizing yourself with what you are already. And therefore, the enlightened state is a fundamental component that has been obscured by a sort of distorted perception of reality. And the distortion is you think you're the distortion. I love reading. You guys are awesome. This chat is amazing. Matt Cagg says, my mind is broke now. Thanks, Duncan. I didn't want to break your brain. Okay, look, in a second I got to go, but I have a belt on now, so I might be able to play some weird shit on my modular synthesizers. No. Okay, this is going to be funny. Right now there are 581 people watching this stream. Let's look at that number after I start playing music for a few minutes. I don't know if this will work. Oh, I gotta get better headphones. These don't really stretch out. All right. Okay, for the modular synth people out there, don't you love pulling your CV cables out of the synths? Because you're like, I'm just gonna start over. This time it won't sound like shit. But you do have to kind of erase the chalkboard, which when it comes to modular synthesizers, is just pulling out your CV cables. Now, might I recommend, before I desecrate these machines in the worst way possible, what's his name? You know what? I'll find a YouTube link to him. Divine. Richard Divine? He's so good. But, so for those of you who weren't here for the last few streams, these are modular synthesizers. Every one of these is a different synth. And they all do different things. But my favorite is the Morphogene, which I'll just play something from it. This like emulates a reel-to-reel tape player, but I don't know if there's, honestly, I don't know if it'd be awesome if after this idiot build-up none of this works, because I do think, hold on. I had my microphone singled out. I didn't want to play that. Hold on. I gotta remember how to do this now. This is like a reel-to-reel, and it records samples, and then you can basically like granulate them or slow them down or speed them up. But honestly, I can't remember how to change the samples. It's embarrassing. I used to fuck with this thing all the time. I just cut a sample into tiny, tiny pieces, and now it's just looping the same, like, splinter. Let me just look and see if any of you can hear this. Synth only going through the right channel. You can fix that. All right, so now the other one I didn't show you guys the other night is the Prism, which I fucking love. This is this incredible filter. Oh, this one's really cool. It makes simulates human voice. You basically you just sit there and do that for hours. It's so fun. But thank you for indulging. Up 449. Oh my God. We lost 90 viewers. That's incredible. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We will do that every night, and we'll always keep track of how many people. Honestly, I'll be honest, it was way better than what I expected. I expected to lose 150. I think it's a good way to sort of wrap up the stream. But yeah, I'll spend more. If you're interested in the synths, I guess like let me know next time, and I'll show you more about them because I think it's a very fun thing to get into. But oh, watch out! It ain't cheap, and it grabs you, man. And once you get in, you can't get out. You have no idea how addicted I am. Like I can't look at new synths. But I want to show you guys before I split. There's no ad, so I think this is okay. What like it looks like a god. Hold on. Of synths. There's a few out there of modular synths. I saw them live and it was scary. Richard Devine. Fucking subscribe to this man immediately. This dude, like, it's scary what he does. Because when I saw him live, it was like, oh, whatever the fuck that is he's doing, it's like he made this. It's a life form that he's instantiating, and it was scary to watch. Oh yeah, here we go. Check out. Just look at this thing he did. I'm just gonna pull up anything random. Sorry, not that Richard Devine's gonna watch or care, but sorry if I'm not supposed to do this. Look at that. Are you serious? Like, look at the organization. He has to wrap his chords with fucking rubber bands because what he's doing is so complex. Look at, I've got like 7 chords. Wow. And that's actually like a more, like, let me show you some more of his stuff here. Oh yeah, this is. I saw him live. You don't even know what it's scary. You feel like your spine is just gonna disappear, and you're just gonna like noodle out on the ground. He's like, oh, I just thought it'd be interesting to make the sound of, like, I don't know, pterodactyl wings trapped in a tiny jaw spinning in a black hole. See what that sounds like. Have you ever wondered what it might sound like if, I don't know, there was a pixie, but the pixie was like Jesus, and you were there at the tomb of the pixie when it was being resurrected, but also there was a geomagnetic shift of the earth, so gravity stopped working for 7 seconds, and on top of that, everything was getting sucked into a black hole. I'll make that sound. Oh my God. It just occurred to me, maybe you guys couldn't hear that. It would be so bad. I don't want to look at the chat. I feel like I didn't have a setting. Oh my God. Please, God. Please, God. Okay, going to the night. You can't hear it. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I could figure out a way to fix it so you guys could hear the sound to try to like redeem myself, but I'm not going to do that. It's way funnier if I don't. So I can't. Maybe tomorrow night I'll play. That is so awesome. I'm so sorry. I'm telling you this. At some point, all of this will be elementary to me. I'll do it casually. I won't even think about it. My hand will fly around. I'll just shift a knob here and there, and boom, you can hear the internet. But yeah, that's not where I'm at right now. That's not where I'm at. I don't know how to run this equipment. It took me 5 hours to set up a Lumix Panasonic camera. 5 hours, and that was like, I think even ChatGPT was getting frustrated with me. So, look, I'm grateful that any of you are still here. And I'm sorry. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I could play Richard Devine. It's like bobbing my head and you guys weren't hearing anything. So I really need a super chat. What the fuck? Jay Summer, what? No. $50. Thank you. That's crazy. And no comment or anything. Thank you so much. Thank you. That $50 will go towards destroying the fucking pyramids. And I'll tell you this. Yeah, I'm an old dude. I'm balding. I'm wearing a train conductor hat, playing modular synths. I know where I'm at. So yeah, maybe some people, they're gonna laugh at you when you say you found your new home, and that you're part of a movement to blow up the pyramids. They're gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, that fucking piece of shit couldn't even get the audio to work on that Richard Devine modular synth vid. How could he blow up the pyramids? And the answer to your asshole friend's question is, I can't. I can't do it by myself. I can't do it on my own. I need help. I need help from people like your friend. Your friend who you're judging for wanting to blow up the pyramids because of something he saw on my YouTube feed. Yeah, I need his help. I need the help of like-minded individuals who aren't afraid to redefine the landscape of our planet. Not in some silly way, by putting up a better soup plantation, but in a real way, a historic way, an artistic gesture to the void. Fuck your pyramids. They're gone. Fuck Project Bluebeam. We don't need a fake alien invasion. We got one, a real one. It's called the pyramids. And I'm telling you, the pursuit to blow up the pyramids is a global movement that unites people, not based on what flag they fly, but on their desire to wake up some morning and not feel the dark taint of the pharaohs smushing into their face. The pharaohs face-sitting every single one of us every fucking morning, suffocating us with their thick-loined groins. In the spiritual realm, of course. So yeah, thank you. You are a champion. And what you did tonight will reverberate throughout history for infinity. Thank you. Hold on. I'm looking you up. Oh, God damn it. I'll come to your ranch, Trevor Oswald. And thank you for your invite. I need a ranch, and I'd like to go to a ranch. I don't know. Well, I'm looking at your pics. It seems fun. It actually, is that your ranch? It must be weird to have a ranch. And have people say, is that your ranch? And be able to say, yeah, it's my ranch. I have a fucking ranch. Thanks for the super chat. I'd love to. I need ranch experience. My dad used to take me to ranches in Texas. I think I missed this one. Jay Summers said, I blasted off. Congratulations. 2 hearts and an alien. There's someone in the chat who keeps mentioning Charles Manson over and over. What's going on? Ben Stapletism has talked about Charles Manson like 15 times. What's up? Duncan, did you hear about Charles Manson? Is it a... No. I mean, is there something new about him? It'd be so cool if he wasn't dead. No. What's up? Ben Stapleton, what's your thing? Why do you keep, like, bringing up Manson? What do you need from me? Here we go. Ben has responded. Charles Manson is everyone. He's the air, the trees, the green things that give us air. He's the bottom of the ocean and the height of the sky. He's nothing and everything. Great, Ben. So I take it you're a fan of Charles Manson. Welcome. Welcome to our chat. Some of his music is not bad, but some of it, like, I feel like I can show this because it's not, I'm not doing ads, but maybe not. So, I gotta say, this one sticks in my head. Wait, you won't be able to hear it, will you? You can hear it. You guys are jerks. Hold on. I'm pausing it till... Can you guys hear it? I won't play Charles Manson until I... Were you guys fucking with me? Oh, I love you guys. I fucking love you guys. I really won't know if... Okay, hold on. I have no... Wait, I know how I could tell. Ha ha! Let me see something here. Either way, I'm thrilled with you guys. Either way. You can't hear it. It's not worth playing. Somebody asked, why do I look homeless? Well, I think that's a good question. And the answer is real simple. About, I don't know, feels like eternity. Thursday? Was it Thursday, Wednesday? My oldest child got the flu B. Not the bad one, but the flu. And he was fine. He's fine. But we have this new baby in the house, right? And, dude, you do not want your baby to get the fucking flu. So my wife and the baby have had to quarantine, basically, until, like, our doctor says, like, the baby's safe. Meaning that since, like, Wednesday, I've just been, like, sort of juggling a lot of balls. And it's been wild. It has been wild. You need two people, man, to handle this stuff. So it's been a interesting ride, for sure, over the last few days. And so I think somewhere in the last few days, maybe like my hygiene, I don't know, fell away. You know, like when you're jettisoning shit from a sinking boat. But just a few more days till like it's safe for her to be back in action. So there's that. That's probably why I look homeless. All right, we gotta. I want to play music for you guys, but I can't because I don't know how. Have I addressed all the super chats? Jay Summer, if you just gave me another $50, Jesus Christ, or if I'm reading it again, you deserve 2 readings. Thank you. Trevor Mullen says East Forest, he did a Ram Dass album while he was dying. You did his podcast. He records his music from that ranch. Oh, listen to me. I am old. The name felt familiar to me. I should know it. I have no doubt, and no offense to you. I'm very sorry. It wasn't me trying to be like, I don't know. I really like, I have a very like, unfortunately, like shitty memory when it comes to names. And I hear names and then can't remember them. So forgive me, please. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm so sorry. It's 100% me. You think it's not my headphones. Like I should be able to pipe this shit through OBS. Like the setting I have is like Mac OS screen capture and it's supposed to do the audio too. And wait a minute. On my side, hold on. Advanced audio properties. Mute out. I'm so dumb. There. It's too late now. I can't play garbage. All right, I'll just play it. Oh, wait. I can't show you that. It's a beautiful song, a tribute to the garbage dump by Charles Manson. And what better way to wrap up this stream? Thank you all so much for your very kind donations. I know. Look, I see myself in the camera. I spent 5 hours setting up this camera. I know what I look like. Kind of greasy, tired, disheveled. I explained why. That didn't stop me from doing a night stream. I'm dedicated to this now. I love it. And I'm going to keep doing it. Doesn't matter if I'm tired. Doesn't matter if I would probably like give my other ball for like a couple of days of rest. I'm still going to do this because ultimately it's incredible. And not just because I feel lucky to be able to do it and make any kind of money at all from it, but because every penny I make from this endeavor is being directed 100% towards the project of destroying the fucking pyramids. And you know, like, think of one of George Washington's, I don't know, kidney cells. You know, it wasn't responsible all the way for George Washington. It was just part of what helped George Washington produce piss. But if it had died, George Washington, in all hopes of America becoming an independent nation, would have died with that kidney cell. And that's all I am. I'm a kidney cell in the kidney of some great, vast, important force that wants to destroy the pyramids for the children. And every single one of you are part of this evolving and growing global organism. We're going to do it. My subscribers have exploded since I've been doing these night streams. And yeah, are we at Mr. Beast numbers yet? No. It would, at the current rate, it would take approximately 15,000 years to get there. But with your help, with you getting out there spreading the word, hey, did you see that night stream? You know, he makes some good points about the pyramids. I think we should get rid of them. You could draw people in. You could expand this global consciousness. And every single person drawn into this movement is as important as the whole movement itself. We got to do this, and we have to do it quick. There's not a lot of time. So help me. Spread the word. Make your own pamphlets. Don't be afraid to go to protests with a sign that says, "We must blow up the pyramids." Get out there. Organize. I'm just a sloppy mouthpiece for a much bigger thing. Very powerful members who unfortunately can't make themselves known at this moment. But whether you're Jeffrey Epstein or whether you're just, somebody floating out on a paddleboard, you're equally important in this movement. It doesn't matter. Look, we all make mistakes. The moment you enter in to the movement to destroy the pyramids, all of your sins are forgiven instantaneously in just that one moment. That one inner shift. So join me, spread the word. And thank you so much for being here. May God go with you into the night. And thanks for all the super chats. I'll see you tomorrow night. Maybe. I'll probably skip a night. But maybe tomorrow night. It's so fun. I think tomorrow night. And then I'll skip tomorrow and do Wednesday. I don't think you care that much probably. But keep your eyes peeled. Until the next time, continue on the night stream.